It is a big quarter at DocuSign. The e-signature company beat Wall Street estimates big time, with revenue up 45% from a year ago. CEO of DocuSign, Dan Springer, is back with us now. Dan, good to see you again. Certainly want to touch upon this quarter. Very strong for you guys, but I do want to start on what is coming down the pike. You have now getting ready to expand into the notary business, also signatures via video conference. Take us through those two next growth drivers. How big a market do you see?
It's significant. We see approximately $1 billion TAM being added to our opportunity with the remote online notary. Super pleased with the acquisition we just announced and completed with Live Oak, which is an Austin-based startup that we're thrilled to bring into the DocuSign family. And I think this concept of collaboration and allowing people, if you think about what an online notary really should be done remotely, it allows all the parties, the notary and the various folks involved in the signing, to in one session be able to complete that process. So we really want to bring to notary what DocuSign brought to e-signature in making lives easier and better for all of our customers.
Dan, how sustainable do you think all of this is? Because at some point, we hope and pray that we're all going to go back to meeting face to face, maybe even signing those papers in person again. So do you think that perhaps the business has plateaued?
What's interesting, on our earnings call last night, one of the big topics of questions was really just that, Alexis, is how much of the increased acceleration we've seen in our business is due to COVID, and how much of it might change in a whatever a new normal looks like when we get there. And believe me, we're as excited to try to get to that new normal post-COVID as much as anyone else is. And I think the answer we have is that people aren't going back. When people have the opportunity to move from a paper-based and manual-based process into a digital experience that costs less money, is faster, is a better customer experience, people basically say they're not going to go back. So we believe that we're going to see the transformation continue to accelerate when we are in a work from home setting, and then our business won't sort of slow down, but we might not have that same rate of pace. So our feeling is pretty bullish that this is the new future, and digital transformation is not going to, in any time, step back.
Dan, I'm sure you saw the sell-off yesterday in the NASDAQ. You're seeing a stock down about 13% this morning. You had a really big quarter here. What's your reaction to what's happening here in the market?
Yeah, well, the trying to guess what's going to happen on Wall Street is always dangerous. We were somewhat surprised the week before our earnings announcement to see our stock go up, 30 some odd percent. And then right after we announced, it kind of gave back almost all of that change that was sort of built up before the earnings announcement. If you talk to all the analysts and investors I've spoken to so far, they're incredibly pleased to see this 45% revenue growth, and seeing a 4 handle on that is great, but also the 61% billings growth, which has sort of just been unprecedented for us, in this 10 quarters of a public company. So the momentum in the stock is strong. The run over the last year has been quite dramatic. And while I'm appreciative of seeing Wall Street respond so well to our overall results, I try not to get too focused on the short-term fluctuations. And what I always tell our employees, if we focus on driving customer success and ensuring that we're making this the best place to work, the stock market will do what it does, and in the long run, our value will be realized. And that's what we've seen so far as a public company.
Dan, you mentioned on the earnings call last night, you had a recent conversation with Zoom founder Eric Yuan, and then it went well. What are you two companies thinking about working on in the months ahead?
What's interesting, Eric approached me after we announced what we were doing with Live Oak and said, hey, that's an area of interest for us as well. Will DocuSign keep an open system? So if you think about that collaboration I was describing earlier, Brian, Eric says, we'd like to make sure that Zoom is part of that overall ecosystem. We're a big Zoom customer. We love them, obviously, as we're a big user as well, and love them as a firm. So we're excited to expand our partnership together and do more of that collaboration.
I also wanted to shine the spotlight on a change in your C-suite, Dan, because your CFO, Michael Sheridan, now becoming your head of international, longtime board member Cynthia Gaylor, now your new CFO. There was some talk in our morning meeting as we were scratching our heads trying to figure out what was going on with your stock, saying, could that be why? Are investors nervous about that switch? Talk to us about why you made that switch and why now.
Yeah, so I think it's super exciting change for us. And someone made the comment that we were sort of shuffling roles. And I don't really think of it as a shuffle. I think of it as an add. So while Cynthia was a fantastic board member, I believe the opportunity that she can add value to DocuSign is exponentially higher as a CFO and an executive team member versus as a board member. We brought in 2 great new board members in Teresa and James, so I don't feel we're lacking anything in financial expertise there. But what I'm really excited to do is to get Mike focused on our biggest growth opportunity, which is international. 81% of our revenue comes from the United States, and it's 19% outside. I think that could be significantly higher. So we're going to really have Mike focused on that international growth, but we couldn't do that. We couldn't allow our CFO to focus on that international growth opportunity if we didn't have a great CFO that we could have come in behind him. And with Cynthia, we have just that great CFO. So we look at this as a huge add. We still have strong financial leadership, and now we have a fantastic executive to help us really drive that international opportunity.
Dan, you've been the face of DocuSign for some time, led the company through its IPO. Are these management changes a sign of you thinking about succession planning?
Not yet. I mean, I'm hoping that I've got a few good years here before Silicon Valley decides I'm too old to be running the business, Brian. I mean, I'm as excited now as I ever been at DocuSign. I'm coming up on 4 years here. My last gig, Responsition, I had a 10-year run before Oracle ended up buying the company. I'm hoping I can do a 10-year run here at DocuSign. And so far, it's been a good one.
Well, you sure seem energetic to me as always. DocuSign CEO Dan Springer, always good to speak with you. Have a great Labor Day weekend.
All right. Thanks for having us.